chance. They make you wanna take it, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. That's why make music. That's damnation. Damnation in France. That's Willa May. Warm cookies. If you're doing it professionally. WDMNation MEDIA. Think Tim. Tell me what you think about that. Wearing all the hats, curator of the undefined, speaker of the funk, driver of the car, the one who told you you could be what you want, whatever you want, you can be a star. We're talking to you. WDMN, Willa May, Big Tim, Damnation. We are talking to you. Peace and be well.
Have you ever noticed that time never actually makes a sound? We never hear yesterday leaving, and we never hear tomorrow arriving. Yet somehow, a single song can make 50 years disappear in the span of a few seconds. One familiar melody, one television theme, one guitar chord, one church choir, or one unforgettable voice can instantly transport us somewhere else. Suddenly, we're no longer sitting in the car, standing in the kitchen, or walking through the grocery store. We're 8 years old again. We're back in our grandmother's house. We're standing in the hallway of our old high school. We're driving home from our first job, or dancing with someone who hasn't been part of our lives for decades. Nothing around us has changed, and yet everything has changed because music has the remarkable ability to reconnect us with moments we thought had long since passed. It doesn't simply help us remember, it allows us to feel those memories again. That may be one of the most extraordinary things about music. Perhaps that is what time really sounds like. Welcome back to Why Make Music. I'm Willa May, and today, we're beginning episode 89, Time. As simple as that. Before we dive in, I want to mention why we weren't here last week. We intentionally took the 4th of July weekend off because holidays are important. Family is important. Spending time with the people you love is important. There is already enough competing for everyone's attention. And the last thing we wanted to do was add one more obligation to your holiday weekend. Sometimes the healthiest thing a creator can do is step aside for a moment, let people enjoy life, and then return with something that is genuinely worth their time. That thought became the inspiration for today's episode, because time may be the most valuable resource any of us will ever possess. Money comes and goes. Equipment can be replaced. Followers rise and fall. Technology evolves faster than most of us can keep up with it. The one thing none of us ever gets back is yesterday. Once a moment passes, it becomes history. The only question is how we choose to preserve it. That is where music becomes different from almost every other form of art. A photograph can remind you that something happened. A home movie can show you what happened. A history book can explain what happened. Music does something entirely different. Music allows you to feel what happened. A single song can bring back the emotions of your first date, the excitement of graduation day, the warmth of your grandparents' living room, or the sound of your parents singing along to the radio while driving down the highway. It doesn't simply replay the event. It reconnects you with the version of yourself who lived through it. Researchers have spent years studying what they call music-evoked autobiographical memory, discovering that songs are among the most powerful triggers of personal memory we possess. They don't simply remind us of people and places. They reactivate emotions, experiences, and entire periods of our lives. That helps explain why a television theme from childhood, a church hymn, or an old soul record can suddenly transport us decades into the past. The music isn't changing. We are reconnecting with the lives we lived while those songs were playing. When I began thinking about today's topic, I realized that my own life has unfolded alongside one of the most extraordinary periods in music: history. During the past 50 to 60 years, we've watched recorded music transform from vinyl records and broadcast television into a world of streaming services, smartphones, artificial intelligence, social media, and global digital distribution. We've gone from waiting all week to hear our favorite song on the radio to carrying millions of songs in our pockets. We've gone from expensive recording studios controlled by a handful of gatekeepers to a world where independent artists can create, release, promote, and own their music from a spare bedroom. That kind of change is remarkable, but it also raises an important question. Has music itself changed, or have we simply changed the way we experienced it? More importantly, what does all of this mean for the people creating it, sharing it, preserving it, and hoping that one song might someday become part of someone else's life? For me, the answer has remained surprisingly consistent. We continue making music because every song becomes another piece of intellectual property, another opportunity, another possibility waiting for the right moment. Out of hundreds of songs, perhaps only one needs to find its perfect home. One placement in a film, one television show, one documentary, one commercial, one video game, or one unforgettable moment can completely change the trajectory of a catalogue. That possibility is what keeps creators creating. We are still chasing lightning in a bottle, not because it happens every day, but because history has proven that sometimes it happens exactly once, and once is enough to change everything. That is the mission behind this podcast, behind WDMNation MEDIA, and behind every song that continues to be written, recorded, mixed, published, registered, protected, and pitched. We aren't simply making music for today. We're building something that may still have value long after we're gone. We're building memories that haven't happened yet, opportunities that haven't revealed themselves yet, and a legacy that, hopefully, will continue benefiting the generations that come after us. So today, I'd like to take a journey together, not simply through the history of music, but through our own history with music. Because before we can understand where music is going, it helps to remember where it has already taken us. Welcome to episode 89. Time. As simple as that.
Don't spend it, put it to the side, don't ever lend it. Think about the power that you got, don't try to do it, don't ever stop. If you ain't gonna be a champ, don't play, that's the only reason why you win this game. You're trying to work your way to the top, everybody tell you don't stop, don't stop. Oh, but what you gonna do when you reach the top? You gotta look around and see who's not. Shadows every single it first. Let me let you know this is how I reverse. Back it up, pull it back tight, time travel through this if I must. Think about the future, think about us. Can I be the one? Can I be the one? Can I open up your eyes and let you see the sun? Can I 55 miles to the outer heavens atmosphere. I know I'm only 'cause I'm already here. Got your target so trained, don't look directly into sun. I may blind you, the brightness, the daughter, the sun. Mother, I love you. I'm no stranger. I am the only danger. Think it over. Can I tell you about what I see? I feel the shadow. Where I can you tell me? Can I be the one? Come on. Can I be the one? Can I open up your eyes and let you see the sun? Can I be the one? Come on. Can I be the one? Can I open up your eyes and let you see the sun?
When people ask me what music used to be like, I don't immediately think about records or cassette tapes. I think about waiting. Waiting for your favorite song to come on the radio. Waiting for Saturday morning cartoons because they had that theme song you loved. Waiting for a television variety show because your favorite artist was finally going to perform. Waiting for someone in the family to come home with a new record they'd been talking about all week. Looking back, I realized music wasn't simply something we consumed. It was something we anticipated. In many ways, the waiting became part of the experience. And perhaps that anticipation made the music itself feel even more valuable. One of the biggest differences between growing up in the 1970s and living today is that music wasn't always available. If you wanted to hear a particular song, there was no guarantee you could. It sounds almost impossible to explain to someone who has grown up with a smartphone. But scarcity shaped our relationship with music. My earliest memories of music weren't attached to playlists. They were attached to places. I remember hearing records spinning in my family's house and at my grandmother's home. My uncle always seemed to have something playing, and before I understood anything about production or songwriting, those songs were already becoming part of the background music of my childhood. Without realizing it, I was building a soundtrack to my own life. Television played a tremendous role in that experience. Before cable television exploded, and long before YouTube existed, music entered our homes through scheduled programming. If you wanted to see your favorite artist, you watched Soul Train. You stayed up for The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. You watched Saturday Night Live because you knew there would be a musical guest. Variety shows featuring the Jackson 5, Sonny and Cher, the Osmonds, and so many others weren't just entertainment. They were events. They gave families something to experience together. And because there were so few opportunities to see artists perform, those appearances stayed with us. Even television theme songs became part of our emotional vocabulary. Think about how quickly a melody can transport you back in time. The opening of Happy Days, the theme from Laverne and Shirley, the Jeffersons, All in the Family, Sanford and Son, Hawaii Five-0. Long before we paid attention to composers or producers, those melodies quietly became permanent fixtures in our memory. Years later, I learned that Quincy Jones produced the unforgettable theme for Sanford and Son. And suddenly something I had known emotionally as a child made perfect sense intellectually. Great music had been surrounding us all along. Movies did exactly the same thing. The first few notes from Rocky immediately create a feeling of determination. The opening fanfare from Star Wars still fills people with wonder nearly 50 years later. Two notes from Jaws can make an entire audience tense before anything even happens on screen. The haunting music from The Godfather instantly creates an atmosphere that words alone never could. These pieces weren't simply background music. They became cultural landmarks, shared emotional experiences that millions of people still recognize within seconds. Then there was radio. Younger listeners might never fully appreciate what radio once represented because today we have complete control over what we hear. Back then, we surrendered that control every time we turned the dial. The disc jockey became your guide. If you wanted to hear a specific song, you called the station on a landline telephone and hoped someone answered. If you were lucky, maybe your request made it onto the air. Looking back, I laugh, because most of us were requesting songs that were already popular enough to be played anyway, but that didn't matter. Hearing your name mentioned on the radio made you feel like you were part of something larger than yourself. That unpredictability also made discovery exciting. You couldn't skip ahead after 10 seconds. You couldn't search an artist's entire catalog in the palm of your hand. Sometimes your new favorite song arrived unexpectedly while you were listening for something else. Sometimes you bought an entire album because you loved one single, only to discover the best song wasn't the hit at all. Entire generations learned patience because music demanded it. Owning music also meant something different. You didn't accumulate thousands of albums overnight. Every record, every cassette, every compact disc represented a decision. You spent your own money. You studied the cover art. You memorized the liner notes. You learned who produced the record, who played bass, who arranged the strings, who engineered the sessions, and who wrote each song. Albums weren't simply files. They were experiences. They invited you to spend time with them instead of racing to the next recommendation. I sometimes wonder if scarcity actually deepened our appreciation. When something isn't always available, we tend to value it differently. Waiting all week to hear a favorite song on the radio made those 3 or 4 minutes feel special. Saving your allowance for months to buy one album made you listen to every track because you had invested something into it. You gave music your attention because attention was part of the transaction. Today, we live in the complete opposite reality. Nearly every song ever recorded exists a few taps away. Streaming has become one of the greatest technological achievements in entertainment history. Millions of songs are available instantly, and that accessibility is extraordinary. I wouldn't trade the creative opportunities we have today. As an independent artist, I benefit from this world every single day. Still, I sometimes wonder whether unlimited access changed our relationship with appreciation. When everything is available all the time, do we slow down enough to truly experience any of it? Have we become better listeners, or simply faster consumers? I don't ask those questions because I think the past was better. I ask them because every generation gives something up in exchange for progress. We gained convenience beyond imagination. But perhaps we also lost a little of the anticipation that once made music feel like an event. Maybe that's the lesson. Music hasn't become less meaningful. Our relationship with it has simply evolved. The destination didn't disappear. The road we take to get there changed completely. That evolution naturally leads to another question. If the way we discover music has changed so dramatically, why do songs from decades ago still have such incredible power over us? Why can a melody heard in childhood suddenly unlock memories we haven't thought about in years? To answer that, we have to leave the music business for a moment and step inside the human mind. Because before music became an industry, it first became memory.
has passed. This empty something called a glass. Life lesson given in this room, some kind, call it class. Instructions recited, recollection ignited. Take a stroll into the boxes of your mind. How wonderful, some exciting, forgetful, not all too kind. Inside this memory, folded pages of the newspaper, date highlighted, photos cut like a collage maker. Inside this memory, it's not how you remember, it's how it is. Mental play, trick, lay brick, foundation of stories told to kids. Inside this memory, collage maker, stories told to kids. Did you ever hear the one? They thought they did it right, packed their bags, leaving town tonight. Only one had the heart. As she boarded that train, the other never even had a bag. She alone, they both are. But this was before the time we all had phones, and we were never far from home. Far from home. Inside this memory, folded pages of the newspaper, photos cut like a collage maker. Inside this memory, it's not how you remember, it's how it is. How it is, how it is. Foundation of stories told to kids. You played that game, truth or dare, or another name. 7 minutes in heaven didn't go that well. Spin the bottle, he felt your heart began to swell. Nervous energy, it was you, it was me. Too young to even contemplate the thought of coming home late, let alone a thought of skipping town. Not knowing what the future holds, or where to lay your head if it got cold. Too young, too bold. Inside this memory, folded pages of the newspaper, date highlighted, photos cut like a collage maker. Inside this memory, it's not how you remember, it's how it is. Mental play, trick, laid brick, foundation of stories told to kids. Inside this memory, trick, laid brick, stories told to kids. Inside this memory, photos cut like a collage maker. It's not how you remember, it's how it is. How it is, how it is. Foundation of stories told to kids. Stories told, stories told. We thought we knew, but the memory knew better. Stories shift, pages fold, but the feeling remains.
Have you ever heard a song you hadn't listened to in 20 or 30 years, only to discover that you still knew every word? Even stranger, you suddenly remembered where you were when you first heard it, who you were with, what the weather felt like, and even how you felt about your own life during that season. It's remarkable when you stop and think about it. We forget phone numbers. We forget passwords. We forget why we walked into a room. Yet somehow, our minds continue carrying songs like treasured photographs tucked away inside an old family album. That isn't an accident. It's one of the remarkable ways the human brain organizes our lives through sound. One of the reasons I wanted to dedicate an entire episode to time is because I don't believe we experience time the way clocks measure it. Clocks measure seconds, minutes, and years, but human beings measure life through experiences. We remember birthdays, graduations, weddings, vacations, heartbreaks, victories, losses, and quiet moments that never appeared important until years later. Music has an extraordinary way of attaching itself to those experiences, almost like invisible threads stitching memories together across decades. Researchers have spent years studying something called music-evoked autobiographical memory. And, while the name sounds technical, the idea is beautifully simple. Music doesn't just help us remember facts, it helps us remember ourselves. Certain songs become connected to particular chapters of our lives, and when we hear them again, our brains often retrieve the emotions surrounding those moments with astonishing clarity. That helps explain why people frequently describe music as taking them back in time. In many ways, it literally does, at least emotionally. Think about your own life for a moment. Most of us can remember the song that was playing during our first dance, the music we listened to during high school, the albums that got us through difficult seasons, or the songs that played during long summer road trips with family and friends. Those songs have become emotional bookmarks. They remind us not only of where we were, but also of who we were becoming. I find it fascinating that the music itself never changes. The recording remains exactly the same every time it is played. The notes don't become older. The rhythm doesn't become wiser. The melody doesn't mature. We do. Every time we revisit an old song, we bring a different version of ourselves to the listening experience. A song that once sounded hopeful at 16 might sound bittersweet at 50. A lyric that seemed romantic when we were young might suddenly reveal a deeper truth after we've experienced enough life to understand what the songwriter was really saying. That may be one of the greatest gifts music gives us. Songs don't simply preserve moments. They allow those moments to grow alongside us. Every listen becomes a conversation between who we were and who we've become. I often think about television theme songs because they demonstrate this better than almost anything else. The opening notes from Happy Days, The Jeffersons, Laverne and Shirley, Sanford and Son, or Hawaii Five-0 don't simply remind people of television shows. They remind people of entire periods of life. They remind us of the house we lived in, the furniture in the living room, the smell of dinner cooking in the kitchen, the family members sitting beside us, and the routines that quietly shaped our childhood. Those melodies became landmarks in our personal history without ever asking permission. Movies work the same way. You hear the opening fanfare from Star Wars, and suddenly you're remembering your first trip to the theater. You hear the triumphant brass from Rocky, and you immediately feel determination and resilience. Two simple notes from Jaws can still create tension nearly 50 years later because our brains learned to associate those sounds with anticipation and danger. Music teaches our emotions how to respond, and those lessons often stay with us for life. This connection becomes even more remarkable when we look at people living with Alzheimer's disease or other forms of dementia. Families often describe heartbreaking moments when loved ones struggle to recognize faces or recall recent conversations. Yet when familiar songs from their younger years begin playing, something extraordinary can happen. They start singing, they begin remembering lyrics, they smile, they reconnect emotionally, even if only for a few precious moments. Scientists continue studying why this happens, but one thing has become increasingly clear. Music reaches parts of memory that often remain accessible even when other forms of recall begin to fade. That tells us something profound about the role music plays inside the human brain. Maybe that explains why we place so much importance on songs during life's biggest moments. We choose music for weddings because we want to remember them. We play songs at funerals because we're trying to preserve someone's spirit. National anthems unite entire countries. Church hymns connect generations of believers Protest songs become the soundtrack of social movements. Lullabies comfort children before they even understand language. Long before music became an industry, it became one of humanity's oldest methods of preserving emotion. As someone who writes and produces music, I think about that responsibility more than I used to. Early on, I was focused on finishing songs. Today, I'm increasingly aware that every recording has the potential to become part of someone else's story. Somewhere, someone may eventually hear one of my songs during a moment that changes their life. I may never know when it happens or who it happens to, but the possibility exists every time a song leaves the studio. That's both humbling and inspiring. Perhaps that's why music continues to matter, even in an age where we have unlimited entertainment competing for our attention. Movies end. Television episodes end. Social media posts disappear beneath tomorrow's headlines. A meaningful song has a different lifespan. It waits patiently. Sometimes years pass before we hear it again, and when we finally do, it greets us like an old friend who somehow remembers everything we had forgotten. Maybe that's why music feels timeless. Not because it escapes time, but because it quietly carries pieces of our lives forward while everything else continues moving. If music has become the soundtrack of our personal history, then it's worth asking another question. While our memories were being shaped by songs, the music industry itself was experiencing one of the fastest technological revolutions in modern history. The way we discovered, purchased, recorded, and shared music transformed almost beyond recognition in the span of a single lifetime. In our next segment, I'd like to step back and look at that remarkable journey, because understanding where the industry has been helps explain why today's opportunities and today's challenges look so different from those of previous generations.
Freedom doesn't make you crazy. Freedom just gives the crazy room to stretch. I went past my mother's just to check in, drop something off. I came back with 4 newspapers I didn't ask for, just to throw away all the headlines. Had the same picture, but every caption told a different lie. Was it deep thought or deep sleep? Either way, somebody blinked when the shutter clicked. Is the blind leading the blind? We could do so much better if we ever slow down. Better. Freedom and crazy folk. I don't think you can go insane if you weren't free, too busy working like a slave to ever disagree. Just my thoughts, free time gives you a freer mind. Idle hands get blamed. Freedom and crazy folk. Freedom and crazy folk. Let me lay it out for you. There's so many special things you could do, but given the choice of right or wrong, given the choice to stand or belong, you learn real quick how easy it is to look the other way. No work, all posture, pimping your play in broad daylight display. You offer yourself up, not even to the highest bidder, won't stand for anything, still swear you ain't a quitter. If I could take my eyes and loan you what I see, abuse to the system, disgrace to the university, universal vain to say, there's only one of anything you ever break down, every syllable. If not, why you walking around with a loaded gun, loaded with heat, insanity, madness, ain't bet the future, can't even process sadness, mental stability, more country than hillbillies, sweeter than candy. Was that joke really silly? Civilized civilization, colonizing ways, trying to throw the world back 50,000 days, that's 137 calendar years. I ain't crazy, I learned it all right here. Freedom and crazy folk. Crazy folk. I don't think you can go insane if you weren't free. Too busy working like a slave to ever disagree. Free time gives you a freer mind. Idle hands get blamed. Freedom and crazy folk. Crazy talk, free. Don't you wanna be crazy talk, free? Don't you wanna be crazy talk, fine. What you gonna do when you cross that line? Yeah. Told your sister we could jump rope, maybe double dutch. Can't go swimming, just stay lunch. Crazy talk. What you think about heaven? Crazy talk. Dictionary at a 6, 7, 6. If you're worthy, you the going like a slave. If you ever disagree, free time gives you a freer mind. Idle hands get played. Freedom and crazy folk, freedom and crazy folk. Soft breeze, if this sounds crazy. Good, that means it's working.
If someone had fallen asleep in 1975 and somehow awakened today, they would probably recognize the sound of a great song, but almost nothing else about the way music reaches people. The instruments might feel familiar. A melody would still be a melody. A great singer would still stop them in their tracks. Everything surrounding the music, however, would feel like science fiction. The journey from the recording studio to the listener has changed so dramatically over the past 50 years that it may represent one of the greatest technological transformations of any creative industry in modern history. When people think about music history, they often think about artists, albums, and genres. They remember disco, punk, hip-hop, grunge, country, jazz, R&B, pop, or rock. They remember the performers because performers naturally become the faces of each generation. What often gets overlooked is the incredible amount of technological innovation quietly happening behind the scenes. Every decade didn't simply introduce new artists. It introduced entirely new ways of creating, distributing, experiencing, and valuing music. When I was growing up, music was physical. You held it in your hands. It occupied space in your bedroom. Your collection said something about you before anyone ever heard you speak. Whether it was vinyl records stacked beside the stereo, cassette tapes lining a shelf, or compact discs filling an entire cabinet, music was something you could touch. Owning an album meant you had made a commitment. You invested money, brought it home, opened the packaging, admired the artwork, read the credits, and spent time with it. The experience began long before the needle touched the record or the play. Button was pressed, then technology began accelerating at a pace few people could have predicted. Records gave way to 8-tracks. 8-tracks gave way to cassette tapes. Cassettes introduced portability and the ability to make mixtapes for friends, road trips, and relationships. Compact discs promised cleaner sound and greater durability. Then came MP3 South, and suddenly music became data. Entire collections that once filled bookshelves could now fit inside a pocket-sized device. That alone felt revolutionary. Then came the internet. It's difficult to overstate how profoundly that changed everything. Music was no longer limited by geography. A teenager recording songs in a bedroom could suddenly reach listeners across the globe. Artists no longer needed trucks to ship records across the country. They needed an internet connection. Distribution transformed from a physical logistics business into a digital infrastructure, capable of delivering songs almost instantly to virtually anyone with a connected device. Streaming completed another chapter of that evolution. Instead of purchasing individual albums, listeners suddenly had access to enormous libraries containing millions of songs. Convenience reached a level previous generations could hardly imagine. Today, someone can hear a recommendation, search for it within seconds, and begin listening immediately. Entire discographies that once required years of collecting are now available through a monthly subscription. That convenience changed more than listening habits. It changed expectations. Audiences became accustomed to instant access. Discovery became algorithmic. Recommendation engines quietly replaced much of what radio programmers once did manually. Playlists became the new mixtapes. Data began influencing marketing decisions. Every play, every skip, every save, every share, and every playlist addition became another piece of information helping shape the industry's understanding of listener behavior. At the same time, recording technology underwent an equally dramatic transformation. What once required enormous studios filled with expensive consoles, tape machines, engineers, and specialized equipment can now be accomplished inside a spare bedroom using a laptop, a microphone, an audio interface, and software. Digital audio workstations have placed capabilities once reserved for major studios into the hands of independent creators. Entire albums are being written, recorded, mixed, mastered, and distributed without anyone ever stepping inside a traditional recording facility. That democratization has been one of the most exciting developments of my lifetime. The barriers to entry have never been lower. Creativity is no longer limited by access to million-dollar studios or major label budgets. Independent artists can create professional work, build audiences, own their catalogs, and release music on their own terms. That opportunity simply didn't exist for most creators 50 years ago. Of course, every technological breakthrough introduces new challenges alongside new opportunities. Lower barriers to entry mean more voices entering the conversation. Millions of songs are uploaded to streaming services every year. The competition for attention has become extraordinary. Today's challenge isn't simply making great music. It's helping that music find the people who will genuinely connect with it. That's where the modern creator wears many hats. Songwriter, producer, recording engineer, graphic designer, photographer, videographer, social media manager, marketing, strategist, business owner, publisher, catalog manager, data analyst, community builder. Independent artists today are often operating businesses that previous generations never had to imagine. Creating the music is only one part of the process. Helping the music travel has become an equally important skill. What fascinates me most is that despite all this technological change, the goal hasn't really changed at all. We still want songs that move people. We still want melodies that stay with us. We still want lyrics that tell the truth. Technology has transformed the road, but it hasn't changed the destination. When people say they miss the old days, I understand the emotion behind the statement. There was something magical about saving money for an album, standing in line at a record store, or hearing a favorite song unexpectedly on the radio. Those experiences were meaningful because they belonged to a particular moment in history. At the same time, I can't ignore the incredible opportunities available today. I can sit in my own creative space, write a song in the morning, record it in the afternoon, finish mixing it that evening, distribute it worldwide, and begin sharing it with listeners before the day is over. From the perspective of someone who grew up during the analog era, that still feels astonishing. Every generation believes it is living through extraordinary times, but I genuinely believe the past 50 years have been unlike anything the music industry had experienced before. We've witnessed the transition from analog to digital, from scarcity to abundance, from gatekeepers to global accessibility, and from centralized control to unprecedented creative independence. That's not simply evolution, that's reinvention. Perhaps future generations won't remember the specific devices we carried or the platforms we used, They may never own a compact disc or thread a cassette into a player, but they will inherit something much more valuable. They'll inherit a world where creative opportunity is more widely available than at any point in recorded music history. What they choose to do with that opportunity is entirely up to them. As remarkable as those technological changes have been, they only tell part of the story. The music itself didn't become more valuable simply because the technology improved. What truly changed was the business surrounding the music. Ownership changed, distribution changed, promotion changed. Even live performances took on an entirely different purpose. To understand today's industry, we have to look beyond the songs themselves and examine the machinery that carries them from the studio into the lives of listeners. That's where our journey takes us next.
This time, step inside the process, step into our mind. My brother, my friend, meet the other side. Open up the frequency, let the signal ride. THINKTIML, Willa May, all day, still here. Put your devices down, feel the precious sound, transforming every wave, burning lost to found. Optimal mechanics, moving like machines. No heroes, no villains, just the in-betweens. Don't trip up, don't drown, don't get caught in feelings. We ain't chasing crowns, we rebuild the ceilings. Ain't here for shy, no wine and dine. We dig artifacts, pull gold from time. If you don't know, you'll catch on fast. Materialize, monetize, post metamorphosis, changing form like that. Big bro producing, little sis on track. Don't waste your time, I'm on tracks. Good folks got my back. WDMN, damnation. WDMN. You wanna meet us in the shop? Come through and cop all of the highlights. Watch the reels, don't stop. Play it back in real time, no cap in the flash. Digital attack mode, heavy on the dash. Instrumentals endless, ain't hard to find. Crossing every border, continental grind. 7 levels up, watch them slip and fall. Top peeled back, convertible, we balls. Training maneuvers built inside the facts. Welcome to the universe, infinite tracks. Can't follow us, no marks left behind. Hypnotic blindfold, still seeing through the night. What you gonna do when you touching that mic? Pass it to your homie, only if the boss tied. Every move deliberate, every word exact. No runway, no couture, just simple impact. You'll catch on fast. Materialize, monetize, post metamorphosis, changing form like that. Big bro producing, little sis on track. Don't waste your time, I'm on tracks. Good folks got my back. WDMN, damnation. WDMN. Built from the basement, dirt on the hands, no cosign needed. We drew the plans, made our own lane, then widened the map. Now they all circle, trying to adapt. Mastered the craft and mastered the weight, mastered the loss and mastered the hate, mastered the art of carrying weight. Still made beauty out of dead weight. Pressure made diamonds, pressure made steel, pressure made records that people could feel. Pressure made scars and sharpened the blade. Now every move got a debt repaid. Catalog deep like trenches below. Hundreds of cuts and they all still grow.
Most people experience music the same way they experience electricity. They flip a switch, and the lights come on. They press play, and the music begins. Very few people stop to wonder what had to happen before that moment. They don't think about the thousands of decisions, creative choices, business agreements, technical processes, and human beings working behind the scenes to make those 3 or 4 minutes possible. That's not a criticism. It's simply the difference between consuming something and creating it. Once you become a creator, you begin seeing the machinery behind the magic. And after that, you never really hear music the same way again. One of the biggest changes in my own life over the years has been learning to look beyond the song itself. Like most people, I grew up simply enjoying music. If a song made me feel something, that was enough. I wasn't thinking about who published it, who owned the master recording, who cleared the samples, who registered the copyright, or who negotiated the licensing agreements. I was simply listening. Then I started making music myself. Something interesting happens when you cross that line from listener to creator. You begin asking questions that most people never have to ask. How did this song get here? Who decided it belonged in this movie? Why does this commercial use this particular piece of music? Who gets paid every time this song is streamed? Who owns the recording? Who owns the composition? Why do some songs seem to appear everywhere while others quietly disappear, even though they're just as good? Those questions changed the way I experience entertainment today. I can't watch a television show without noticing the music supervisor's choices. I listen to the opening theme and ask myself why that particular sound was chosen. I notice when a scene becomes more emotional because a piano enters at exactly the right moment. I notice when silence is used instead of music because silence can be just as powerful. Nothing feels accidental anymore. Every creative decision seems intentional. That way of thinking extends beyond music into filmmaking itself. I once heard someone describe animation by saying that if you see something on the screen, it's there because somebody intentionally created it. Every background, every object, every color, every movement exists because someone designed it to exist. Live-action filmmaking isn't very different. Cameras may capture reality, but every frame is still composed. Every light is placed somewhere. Every costume is chosen. Every camera angle communicates something. Every note of music supports the story. Music works exactly the same way. People often think songs simply happen. In reality, songs are built. Every chord progression, every drum fill, every harmony, every vocal choice, every fade out, every moment of silence has usually been considered, adjusted, and reconsidered. Sometimes the smallest decision, a single note, a pause before the chorus, or one extra harmony becomes the reason a song connects emotionally. That's something listeners rarely notice, and honestly, they shouldn't have to. If we've done our jobs well, the construction disappears. The audience isn't supposed to admire the bricks. They're supposed to enjoy the house. I've often said that if a song is playing and nothing distracts you, that's usually a compliment to everyone who worked on it. Great production rarely calls attention to itself. It quietly supports the emotion until the listener forgets they're analyzing anything at all. The business behind music follows a similar pattern. Most listeners don't think about performing rights organizations, publishers, distributors, collection societies, licensing agencies, metadata, ISRC codes, mechanical royalties, or neighboring rights. They simply press play. Yet every one of those systems exists because someone has to make sure creators are credited, compensated, and connected to the work they create. It's an invisible infrastructure, supporting an experience that feels effortless to the listener. Social media introduced another layer to that infrastructure. Years ago, a concert ended when the lights came up and people drove home. Today, that's often when the concert truly begins its second life. Someone records a clip on a smartphone. Another person uploads photographs before leaving the venue. Fans post reactions, create highlight videos, share favorite moments, and introduce artists to people who never attended the show. A performance that once existed only for the audience inside the room can now reach millions of people around the world. Within hours, that completely transformed marketing. There was a time when artists fought against bootleg recordings and unauthorized photographs. Fans were told to put their cameras away and simply enjoy the performance. Today, many artists encourage exactly the opposite. They ask audiences to record, share, live stream, tag, remix, and participate because every post becomes another conversation about the music. Every fan becomes part of the promotional team, whether they realize it or not. We've watched this transformation happen in real time. Major artists now embrace live streaming, behind-the-scenes footage, documentary content, rehearsal clips, studio, updates, and social media storytelling because audiences want more than finished products. They want connection. They want authenticity. They want to feel included in the creative journey. As independent creators, that shift has been both exciting and demanding. Making the music is no longer the finish line. It's the beginning. Today's artist often becomes the photographer, the editor, the social media manager, the marketing department, the public relations team, and sometimes even customer service. The creative process no longer ends when the final mix is exported. It continues every time we tell the story behind the work. Oddly enough, I don't see that as a burden. I see it as an opportunity. For the first time in history, creators have the ability to speak directly to the people who appreciate their work. We don't always need permission to share our ideas. We can build communities one conversation at a time. We can explain why a song was written, demonstrate how it was produced, document the creative process, and invite listeners into a world that used to remain hidden behind studio doors. That's exactly what Why Make Music has become. This podcast isn't simply about promoting songs. It's about documenting the thinking behind them. It's about preserving the conversations that usually disappear after the recording session ends. Years from now, someone may discover one of our songs, but they'll also be able to discover why it was written, what inspired it, and what was happening in the world while it was being created. To me, that's incredibly valuable. We're not just building a catalogue of music, we're building a catalogue of ideas. Those ideas become part of the intellectual property just as much as the recordings themselves, because they give future listeners something many artists never leave behind. Context. Sometimes understanding the story behind a song makes the song itself even more meaningful. Once you understand the machinery behind the music, another realization begins to emerge. Songs aren't simply creative expressions. They're assets. They're copyrights. They're pieces of intellectual property capable of generating value long after the recording session is ended. That changes the entire conversation because success is no longer measured only by chart positions or streaming numbers. It's measured by ownership, opportunity, and longevity. In our next segment, I'd like to explore the philosophy that has shaped nearly everything we do at WDMNation Media. The belief that one song, just one, has the potential to change everything.
Round and round. Yeah. What was put upon you? Funny, ironic is what we all do to get it done, to fit the mold while we're on the run. If you're running hard, what you running from? Living on the ledge, pressure pushing from the wedge, backed into corners. Who's gonna warn us? Show your reasons, like it's treason just to mean them. High crimes in the timeline, legalizing all the high times. Got conditions, we allow it with restrictions. Reach for sky, but don't teach why. They want your hands up high, but your mind to comply. Quiet, comply. Did you buy in, or did you dine in? Are you watching, or just say you watching? Are you watching? Got us drawing crooked circles, but do we have to draw them better? So what if my hand ain't steady? My mind's awake, I'm more than ready. Got us drawing crooked circles, telling me to stay within the lines. Why can't the mind be mine? Death by starvation, but don't forget dessert first. Strip down the truth, take off your pride, rehearse the hurt. You say you run the table, but are you running game? Am I in charge, or are we both just playing names while the others live in large and borrowed language? Commandeered the culture, turned our slang into advantage, made the woke sound dangerous, make the awareness feel contagious. Boy band gangs in matching clothes, no soul left beneath the pose. But they don't dance, they don't bleed, they just market what we need. Fake love, fake love. They sell confusion like it's clarity, dress up greed as solidarity, smile wide for the charity, while cashing out on disparity. Say we care while cutting corners, build the walls, then on the borders. Preach peace while they fund disorder, write the rules, then twist the order. Take your pain and call it fashion, take your rage and drain the passion. Give you slogans, empty captions, keep you trapped in safe reactions. Truth got taxed, lies got grants, justice sold in little chance. They say speak up, but mean behave, decorate the quiet grave. So if I bend or break the frame, who decides what gets the blame? Who decides? Did you buy in, or did you dine in? Are you watching, or just say you watching? Got us drawing crooked circles, but do we have to draw them better? So what if my hand ain't steady? My mind's awake, I'm more than ready. Got us drawing crooked circles, telling me to stay within the lines. Why can't the mind be mine? Round and round, same old lines, crooked circles, borrowed minds. Keep trying, keep falling. Crooked.
People sometimes ask me a question that seems simple on the surface. They ask, why do you keep making music? Sometimes it's genuine curiosity, and other times it's because they honestly can't understand why anyone would continue creating when success appears so uncertain. I understand the question because I've asked versions of it myself. Then I remember something important. Hope has never been a guarantee. Hope has always been a reason to continue. If you've listened to this podcast for any length of time, you've probably heard me say that we're trying to capture lightning in a bottle just one time. I repeat that phrase because it keeps me grounded. I'm not expecting every song to become a hit, and I'm certainly not expecting every release to change my life overnight. That has never been the goal. The goal is much simpler than that. The goal is to continue creating opportunities. From the outside, someone might look at a catalog containing more than 450 songs and wonder why anyone would devote that much time, energy, and emotion to something with no guarantees. That's a fair question, but I don't see 450 songs. Every copyright represents another opportunity for a song to find the right listener. Every completed master recording represents another chance for someone to discover it years from now. Every published composition becomes another piece of intellectual property capable of living a life far beyond the day it was created. That's how I think about the work. And it's the perspective that keeps me moving forward. People often compare success in music to winning the lottery. I understand why they make that comparison, but I see it differently. Buying a lottery ticket depends almost entirely on chance. Building a catalog isn't gambling. It's manufacturing opportunities. Every new song increases the number of doors that might someday open. Every completed project becomes another introduction waiting to happen, another possibility that didn't exist the day before. Will every song succeed? Of course not. Nothing in life works that way. But every song that doesn't exist has exactly zero chance of changing anything. A finished song has a chance. It may be a small chance, and it may take years before that opportunity appears. But it has a chance. For me, that's enough reason to keep showing up. Over time, I've also learned something that was difficult to accept in the beginning. Most people don't become excited while you're building something. They become excited after you've built it. That's simply human nature. We admire finished buildings without thinking about the years spent pouring foundations, raising walls, solving problems, and making thousands of invisible decisions before anyone ever walked through the front door. Creative work follows that same pattern. People naturally celebrate outcomes. Creators spend most of their lives living inside the process, and have come to appreciate that difference rather than resent it. I've reached a place where I'm no longer waiting for permission to believe in what I'm building. I'm no longer measuring my progress by applause, algorithms, or streaming numbers. The work itself has become part of the reward. That doesn't mean recognition wouldn't be appreciated. Of course it would. Every creator enjoys knowing that something they made connected with another human being. But recognition can never become the reason for creating, because recognition exists outside my control. What remains inside my control is whether I sit down tomorrow morning and continue the work. The older I become, the more I realize confidence doesn't always look the way people imagine. Confidence isn't standing on top of a mountain announcing that success is guaranteed. Real confidence is quietly sitting back down at your desk tomorrow morning after yesterday's work received no attention at all. Real confidence is continuing anyway. It's believing today's effort still has value, even when nobody else can see it yet. That may be one of the hardest lessons any creative person ever learns. We spend years building something almost entirely invisible, asking people to believe in a future they can't yet see because, truthfully, sometimes we can't fully see it either. We simply believe it's worth building. I don't think about a company. I think about a lifetime of ideas being organized into something my family can someday inherit. Every registered copyright, every published composition, every podcast episode, every piece of artwork, every lesson learned, every relationship built, and every opportunity created becomes part of a larger story. If one song eventually finds its way into a film, a television series, a documentary, a commercial, a video game, or simply becomes deeply meaningful to one person somewhere in the world, that moment won't have happened by accident. It will have happened because hundreds of other songs came before it. People celebrate breakthroughs, but creators remember the thousands of ordinary days that quietly made those breakthroughs possible. These days, I rarely think about individual songs. I think about the catalog. The catalog is the legacy. The catalog is the investment. The catalog is the conversation I'm having with the future. I'm planting trees knowing I may never sit beneath every one of them. and I'm perfectly comfortable with that because some of those trees aren't growing for me. They're growing for my children. They're growing for generations I'll never meet. If one song changes the financial future of my family, wonderful. If several songs do, even better. But even if none of them become worldwide hits, I still believe there's tremendous value in leaving behind ownership instead of simply leaving behind memories. Ideas fade. Conversations disappear. Buildings eventually crumble. Intellectual property has the unique ability to continue creating opportunity long after the creator is gone. That's one of the most beautiful things about music. A songwriter can leave this world, and decades later a song can still find a brand new listener who needed it at exactly the right moment. Time continues moving, but the work continues traveling. Maybe that's the closest thing we ever come to immortality as creators.
Don't leave me. They all say that I'm okay. Do you swear that I look fine? Nothing here to kill me, guess it's all inside my mind. No fever in my bloodstream, no countdown in my chest. No need to call the family, no need to wake my friend. Funny how it terrifies me, how I swore this had to be a deadly case of heartbreak wrapped up in anxiety. Paint my body in white linen, throw me out into the sea over something that once held me, now is slowly burying me. Delusional, wishing hard so I won't see your face. Light me up, torch me down crazy, ain't it strange? Sprinkle all my ashes where we used to hide away. Love can build a home inside you, then burn the whole thing down in flames. Self-diagnosis had me in that office thinking I was gonna die. Little did I know there was so much life left in supply. Told me get over it, said I sat too low to get under. Should I ask for one more diagnosis? God, I have to wonder. I'm not suicidal, damn, I love this life, but my heart got so corrupted, breathing didn't feel right. I wrote it in my notebook like reporting breaking news. Depression front is moving and tell me which umbrella to choose. Had me picking out my dresses, one it looked pretty for the grave. Didn't even finish coffee, guess I missed my cream too late. Funny how the mind can break you, twist the body into knots. Had no love left in my pocket, started hating all I'm not. Delusional, wishing hard so I won't see your face. Light me up, torch me down crazy, ain't it strange? Scatter all my pieces in my favorite hiding place. Love can make you feel immortal, then convince you of your fate. Self-diagnosis had me in that office thinking I was gonna die. Little did I know there was so much life left in supply. Told me get over it, said I sat too low to get under. Should I ask for one more diagnosis? God, I have to wonder. No more words for you. No more words for you. You deflated all my shine, left a dagger in my backbone, twisted up my spine. No more songs for you, you stole my swing away. Now this melancholy melody is all I know to play. Why'd you stay? Why'd you stay? Self-diagnosis had me in that office thinking I was gonna die. Turns out love's a sickness that don't show up in the bloodline. Said to get over it, but it keeps pulling me under. Maybe I don't need another diagnosis. Maybe I just just need to recover, 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 recover.
Every generation eventually reaches a moment when a new technology arrives and people begin asking the same question in different forms. Will this change everything? Will it replace what came before? Will it destroy the art we love? Or will it create something we never imagined? We've asked those questions about radio, television, synthesizers, drum machines, compact discs, streaming, and now artificial intelligence. History has taught us something surprisingly consistent. Technology changes remarkably fast. Human beings change much more slowly. As we've traveled through today's conversation, we've talked about memory, history, technology, and the remarkable evolution of the music industry. Naturally, that brings us to the topic everyone seems to be talking about today: artificial intelligence. Some people describe AI as the future of music. Others describe it as the end of music. Personally, I don't believe either perspective tells the whole story. I think AI is what nearly every important invention has been throughout history. It's another tool. A powerful tool, certainly, but still a tool. Like every tool before it, its value depends entirely on the intention, creativity, and integrity of the person using it. We've lived through similar moments before. People worried that synthesizers would eliminate musicians. They worried that sampling would destroy originality. They worried that home recording would eliminate professional studios. They worried that streaming would destroy physical media forever. Yet here we are. Vinyl records have returned as collectible works of art. Live concerts remain stronger than ever. Songwriters continue writing. Producers continue producing. Audiences continue searching for songs that genuinely move them. Technology didn't erase creativity. It simply changed the environment in which creativity operates. Artificial intelligence feels different only because we're living through it. History has a way of making every technological revolution seem inevitable once enough time has passed. What AI has certainly done is accelerate the creative process. Tasks that once required days can sometimes be completed in hours. Ideas can be explored more quickly. Production workflows have become more efficient. Independent creators have access to tools that previous generations could hardly imagine. That's an extraordinary opportunity when those tools are used thoughtfully. At the same time, AI hasn't solved the most important part of creativity. It hasn't replaced taste. It hasn't replaced life experience. It hasn't replaced empathy, judgment, curiosity, or purpose. Those qualities still belong to people. Two creators can begin with exactly the same technology and produce entirely different bodies of work because the technology isn't making the artistic decisions. The human being is. That distinction becomes even more important when we think about the future of intellectual property. Current copyright law continues to emphasize meaningful human authorship, reminding us that while technology may assist the creative process, human creativity remains at the center of what society recognizes and protects. That's encouraging because it reminds us that ideas still matter, decisions still matter, perspective still matters. Something else has happened during the past 2 decades that I find fascinating. We've witnessed an extraordinary wave of musical nostalgia finding new life through film, television, documentaries, anniversary releases, and streaming. Stories that many people thought had already been told continue returning in new forms, because audiences still want to reconnect with the artists who shaped their lives. We've seen films celebrating the lives and music of Queen, Elton John, Elvis Presley, James Brown, N.W.A., Bob Dylan, and Bruce Springsteen. Fictional stories like Almost Famous and This Is Spinal Tap have become cultural landmarks in their own right, while films such as Purple Rain blurred the line between storytelling and mythology. Projects surrounding artists like Madonna and Prince have also reminded us that preserving a legacy is rarely simple. Every estate, every family, and every audience wrestles with the same question. How do you tell the story of someone whose music already lives so vividly in the public imagination? And now we've watched the remarkable commercial success of the Michael Jackson biopic. Whatever conversations continue surrounding artistic choices or historical interpretation, one thing is undeniable. The film demonstrates the extraordinary value of musical legacy. New audiences discover the catalogue. Longtime fans revisit songs they haven't heard in years. Albums return to playlists. Streaming increases. Merchandise, documentaries, books, and conversations follow. The music begins another chapter of its life because the story has been told again. I find that fascinating because it reminds us that a great catalogue doesn't stop working when the artist leaves the stage. In many ways, that's when the catalogue begins doing some of its most important work. Songs continue introducing new generations to artists they never had the chance to see perform. Memories become stories. Stories become documentaries. Documentaries become conversations. Conversations inspire new creators, and the cycle begins again. Maybe that's the real business of music. We often think we're selling songs, when in reality we're preserving culture. Every recording captures a moment in history. Every lyric reflects a particular way of seeing the world. Every album becomes a time capsule waiting for someone else. I think about someone 25 years from now discovering a song, a podcast episode. Maybe they'll hear the excitement. Maybe they'll hear the uncertainty. Maybe they'll hear the optimism. Whatever they hear, they'll know there were people who kept creating anyway. That's ultimately why I remain optimistic. Technology will continue. Changing platforms will come and go. Business models will evolve. New tools will appear. Old tools will become collectibles. But somewhere, someone will still pick up an instrument, sit down at a piano, open a laptop, or quietly hum a melody into a voice recorder, because they have something they need to say. That instinct is older than every piece of technology we've discussed today. I don't believe artificial intelligence will erase that instinct. If anything, I think it reminds us why human intention has always mattered more than the tools themselves. Which brings us back to where we began. We started today's journey by talking about time, memory, and the remarkable ability of music to carry pieces of our lives across generations. After everything we've explored, I think we've arrived at a simple truth. Music isn't just something we listen to, it's something we leave behind.
You just tuned in to WDMN. This is the universe of damnation. So you like to party? Let me see your hands. So you like to party? Let me see your hands. This is the time, had to step off the throne. I put my crown down, ready to fight. Homie talking greasy, all about this Lord, this God. You know that shit ain't right. System stunting, rebooting something scheme, collecting souls mean. One touch of the blade, you gone. I'm clean. Damnation. WDMN. Think dumb. So you like to party? Let me see your hands. See your hands. So you like to party? Let me see your hands. Cut like no other. I'm down for my brother. That's been my driving force. Keep enemies at my side. Diced up. Snake eyes, no remorse. This is the choice you make when you're the sign of the times. What I hold in my hand, my future. Don't you worry about mine. Damnation. Think dumb. So you like to party? Let me see your hands. So you like to party? So you like to party? Let me see your hands. Come a Yahtzee, play with guns and fast cars. Throw the 5 dice to see who the targets are. Roll a 5 and that's what you shoot. 2, 3 blocks straight in the left and that's the route. Got that one that they take down. Look up on the 6, 6 stacks on the ground. WDMN, damnation. So you like to party? Hey, let me see your hands. So you like to party? Let me see your hands. So you like to party? So you like to party? Let me see your hands. So you like to party? So you like to party? Let me see your hands. Saturday. Saturdays is my fun day. Saturday, that's my fun day. I don't have to run day. Saturday, stepped into the party. Tell me what you do inside. If you come around, would you ever wanna ride? Think about all of the places we could go. This is how I get down. I thought I'd let you know. Saturday's my fun day. I don't have to run day. Tell me, can you say Saturday? Saturday is my fun day. Think about everything that I wanna do. Think about every dream coming so true. I need to be with you. I need to be with you. Saturday, my fun day. Saturday's my fun day. I don't have to run day. Tell me, can you say Saturday? Saturday is my fun day. I came to the party. I stepped up front. I asked the bar, you know what I want. I want everybody in here popping bottles. Everybody from the guest over to the fashion models. Oh, don't let me get free now. Oh, you wanna be me now. I'm chilling on a Saturday. Saturday is my fun day.
As we come to the end of today's conversation, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. When we began this episode, I asked you to think about time. Not the kind measured by clocks or calendars, but the kind measured by moments. the kind of time that quietly lives inside a melody, a lyric, a family photograph, or a song you haven't heard in 20 years, until one day it unexpectedly finds its way back into your life. Over the past hour, we've taken a journey through memory, technology, creativity, business, psychology, and purpose. We've talked about records and radio, streaming and artificial intelligence, copyrights and catalogs, concerts and community. On the surface, those may seem like separate conversations, but I don't think they are. I think they're all chapters of the same story. Music has never simply been entertainment. Music is memory. Music is culture. Music is history. Music is business. Music is identity. Music is hope. Most importantly, music is one of the few things human beings create that has the ability to outlive the moment in which it was made. A song recorded today might comfort someone 30 years from now. A lyric written this afternoon may eventually become part of a family's history. A melody that begins in a small room can travel around the world and return years later with an entirely different meaning than it. That's extraordinary when you really stop to think about it. That's why I continue believing in songs. That's why I continue believing in catalogs. That's why I continue believing in the quiet discipline of showing up, creating something honest, protecting it, publishing it, and sending it into the world, without knowing exactly where it may eventually land. Maybe success isn't always measured by how many people applaud today. Maybe success is measured by whether something we create still has the ability to matter tomorrow. That's a comforting thought, because it means every thoughtful conversation, every carefully written lyric, every late night in the studio, every finished recording, and every lesson learned becomes another small contribution to a much larger story. As creators, we rarely know which piece of our work will become the one people remember. We don't get to choose that part. Our responsibility is much simpler. We keep creating, we keep learning, we keep improving. We keep showing up with honesty, curiosity, and the hope that somewhere, someday, something we've made will find exactly the person who needed it. Perhaps that's what this entire podcast has really been about from the very beginning. Not fame, not algorithms, not trends, not even music by itself. It's about leaving something meaningful behind. If one song becomes someone else's memory, if one conversation helps another creator keep going, if one idea inspires someone to begin instead of giving up, then every hour spent building was worthwhile. Time has a remarkable way of revealing what was temporary and what was lasting. Trends come and go, technologies evolve, platforms rise and disappear, generations grow older, and new generations discover the music that came before them. Through all of those changes, the songs remain, patiently waiting for someone to press play. Maybe that's why we make music, not because we're trying to stop time, but because we're trying to give a small part of ourselves permission to travel through it. Thank you for spending part of your time with us today. Time is the one gift that can never be refunded, replaced, or recreated, and we never take your attention for granted. On behalf of all of us here at WDMNation Media, thank you for listening, thank you for thinking, and thank you for continuing to believe that creativity still matters. Until next time, keep creating, keep learning, keep listening, and above all, keep thinking. I'm Willa May. This has been Why Make Music. Peace and be wild.
Yeah. WDMN. Step in the function, eyes on the room. Everybody shift when I slide, make room. Late night sinner with the daylight booze. Drink in my hand, got nothing to lose. I don't chase faces, I let them appear. Talk real slick when the baseline near. Looking for truth in the smoke-filled haze. Counting these scars like calendar days. Tell me what's up, who we down? Who wanna build when it all fall down? I came through clean but my soul got dust. Built this throne out of pain and rust. Yeah, talk that. I don't need love, I don't need fame. I don't need you saying my name. Just need space, just need time, just need mine. Step to the party, looking for peace. Everybody wild, but it don't touch me. Early in the morning, still thinking deep. This is what I need, and it don't need me. Tell me what's up, tell me what's real. How you gon' judge what you never feel? I don't need to be what you want from me, no. I take what I earn, never took no bag. Came to expose, came to collect that debt. Number one thought in the back of my head. Still hit the dial from the things they said. Pulled it apart, put paint on display. Look at the cuts that I hid away. Think how I flew with clipped up wings. Still made gold out of broken things. Why gotta fit in, why gotta bend? Everybody fake just to make pretend. I'm trapped in loops and lies and chains. Now I move cold like freight train rains. Watch me. They told me, be softer, be quieter, be easier to hold. But I was never built for that. I was built to break patterns and rebuild louder.